moment you try to convince yourself something is true, your brain starts searching for all the ways it might not be. That's not doubt sabotaging you. That's your mind doing exactly what it's designed to do. The harder you push for blind belief, the more resistance you create. But what if that resistance isn't the enemy? What if it's the fastest path to true, unshakable certainty? You've been told to just believe. Your desires are already yours, to act as if, and suppress any negative thought. But here's what no one admits. Forced positivity feels like lying to yourself, and your brain knows it. Every time you dismiss a critical thought with "no, I shouldn't think that," you're actually reinforcing the idea that your desire isn't real yet. You're highlighting the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That's why traditional manifesting advice leaves so many people stuck in cycles of frustration. It fights human nature instead of working with it. Neuroscience reveals something fascinating. The brain can't ignore unresolved contradictions. When you tell yourself, "money flows to me easily," but then panic when bills arrive, that cognitive dissonance creates tension. Most teachings say to bury the tension under more affirmations. But tension isn't your enemy, it's a signal. Your mind is begging you to close the gap between your current reality and your assumption. The key isn't to silence the critical voice. It's to engage it, to let it lead you to deeper conviction. Think about the last time you tried to convince a friend of something you weren't fully sure about. The more they questioned you, the more you scrambled for proof, until eventually, either you found a genuine reason to believe, or you admitted you didn't know. Manifesting works the same way. When your brain asks, "But how could this happen?" and you respond with, "I don't know, just believe," you're bypassing the very process that creates real faith. But when you lean into the question, "What would make this feel inevitable?" your mind starts collecting evidence. It rewires your perception until assumption becomes instinct. This is why the law of assumption isn't about forcing belief. It's about letting your skepticism guide you to unshakable knowing. Every critical thought is a clue pointing you toward the mental blocks that need resolution. When you worry, "What if I never find love?" that's not doubt, it's an invitation to ask, "What would make love feel inevitable for me?" Suddenly, your brain starts noticing happy couples everywhere, recalling past connections, finding reasons why you're inherently lovable. The assumption builds naturally because you're not fighting your mind, you're collaborating with it. Most people miss this because they've been taught to treat criticism as the opposite of faith. But criticism is just engagement in disguise. Imagine two people reading the same book. One skims without questioning, the other underlines passages and argues with the margins. Who understands the material more deeply? Your critical thoughts are the underlines and margin notes in your manifesting experience. They show you exactly where your assumptions aren't yet solid and where to focus your attention. Here's how to turn resistance into results. Next time a skeptical thought arises, "This won't work for me," don't suppress it. Follow it. Ask, what would need to be true for this to feel natural? If you're manifesting a career opportunity but think, "I'm not qualified," don't just repeat, "I am capable." Ask, what proof would make me feel qualified? Maybe it's remembering past successes or realizing skills transfer in ways you hadn't noticed. Your brain will start connecting dots you'd previously overlooked. The assumption grows roots because you've addressed the friction head-on. This shifts manifesting from a performative mindset, trying to believe something, to a discovery mindset, uncovering why it's already true. For example, if you're assuming financial abundance but feel tense when spending, digging into that tension reveals hidden beliefs like "money is scarce" or "I don't deserve more." Those aren't obstacles, they're the exact beliefs ready to be upgraded. When you discover them with curiosity, they lose their power. The assumption of abundance stops being something you force and starts being something you see everywhere. This is why the people who manifest fastest aren't the ones with the most blind faith. They're the ones who engage deeply with their doubts. They treat their critical mind as an ally, not an enemy. When you stop resisting resistance, you unlock a fascinating paradox. The more you allow yourself to question, the less you need to. The assumption solidifies not because you've silenced your logic, but because you've satisfied it. Try this today. Pick one desire and let your mind critique it freely. Every objection that arises, meet it with, "What would make this feel inevitable?" Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine. It will start finding answers you never consciously considered. Maybe you'll recall a time the universe delivered unexpectedly, or notice how your skills align perfectly with your goal. The assumption builds itself when you stop telling your mind what to think and start asking it to show you why it's true. This is the secret no one talks about. Certainty isn't manufactured. It's uncovered. When you stop fighting your critical thoughts and start following them, they lead you straight to the mental shifts that make manifesting effortless. You're not dropping your standards, you're raising them, you're demanding proof, and in doing so, training your mind to find it everywhere. Watch what happens over the next 24 hours when you approach one desire this way. Let every doubt point you toward deeper conviction. The moment you stop treating criticism as the enemy and start seeing it as the path, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself. Because when your mind truly can't find a reason why something wouldn't be true, it becomes true. Not because you believed blindly, but because you questioned deeply. And that's how assumptions become reality. The shift happens when you realize manifesting isn't about convincing yourself of something new. It's about uncovering what was already true, just waiting for you to notice. Your critical mind isn't blocking you, it's guiding you. And once you start listening, everything changes.